How does that look?
It looks good.
Pretty okay?
Is it recording?
Yes.
Hi, welcome to Beyond the Bookshelf. I'm Leah.
And I'm Ethan, and today we're going to be
And
talking
this is
about...
Monkey.
Hi, Monkey. Today we're going to be talking about sound.
Sound.
Vibrations in the air. With special guest star, Monkey.
Monkey kitty.
It's Monkey the cat. Hello, Monkey. Meow.
This is my cat. I love her so much.
Good cat.
So, today's episode is on sound.
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 Sound is the vibration of the air. It's the movement of... Actually, it doesn't go like that. Well, kind of. Sound is a longitudinal wave. It goes through the air like a chunk. There will be an image on the screen right now. Wow. It's teaching how to do the thing. So this is what the deal is. There's two kinds of waves. There's the kind of waves that like pushes against each other, and then there's the kind of waves that literally go like that. And sound is not that one. Sound is it's a compression wave. Wow.
Wow.
Which means that when I make noise, then it pushes each little bit of air until it hits
a microphone.
Yeah, it hits your ears or a microphone or the world around us.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
There's all kinds of ways to make sounds. Like, here, grab that cat. Fun fact about cats. Cats only meow when talking to humans because they see humans as idiot children when talking to other cats. Give me my cat. They just do body language because cats are a body language species. And so, like, meowing, it's only for humans to get our attention. It's actually a type of classification for big cats, whether they purr or not.
Purring or meowing.
Purring or meowing big cats. Here. We have this banana for a cat named Monkey because we think that's clever. So anyway, sound, there's quite a few ways to make it. Like humans, how we make sounds is because we have vocal cords, which are kind of like two little flaps of skin. And they just kind of go like, bend funny.
Yeah, and then you go like, push air and it goes, and it vibrates the things. Vocal cords are longer, then it goes lower. And if the vocal cords are shorter, then
it goes really high.
That's how you sing. Wow. Yeah.
We've developed these really spiffy things called instruments. How about you explain how brass instruments work while I go get a string?
Yes. So a brass instrument is a kind of musical instrument in which you take a metal thing and go... I scared the cat.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. You go into it, and that creates the vibration, the very specific kind of that goes through a metal tube, does magic stuff, and then the very end, the bell of like a trumpet or a trombone or a tuba or whatever, it's a very specific shape such that the waves inside can cascade outward and they don't experience any kind of detriment or lessness. They don't go down at all. It's a good time. Brass instruments are cool. I play a lot of them. However, other kinds of instruments do the same thing. The entire point of sound is to make a wave. To go all kinds of instruments make interesting noises by wiggling the air.
This is a ukulele.
Yes, it makes noise by wiggling the air. However, you aren't wiggling the air by blowing air through it. You're wiggling the air by wiggling a string.
So you hold the string down, and that's how you make notes happen. And so when you hold down strings and you make all the strings shake and wiggle and wave, then it makes sounds happen.
Yeah, music theory is another episode. But beautiful. The way that the wiggle of the string works is you take the string wiggle, and however long this string is dictates how long it is from here to there. So here to there is now a certain kind of wavelength. So when you wiggle it, it
makes a certain sound.
Yeah, it experiences that exact wavelength, and that exact wavelength is corresponded to an exact frequency because the velocity of sound through air is constant.
Wow.
Those are directly related to each other. So frequency is what you hear as different notes, high or low or...
Wow.
Yeah.
There's also another kind of string instrument, which is also kind of a percussion. It's called a piano. That's like the most popular instrument.
Yeah. No, pianos are great because you go kerblow, and it takes a hammer, it goes... And it, instead of plucking the string, it just hits it.
It just hits it like a hammer. That's why it's also classified as a percussion.
It's great. It used to be harpsichords back in the day.
Them good old olden times.
I know. They would pluck. You'd push a button and go...
Only 90s kids remember harpsichord.
I don't think that's true. maybe 1790s kids. Harpsichords are great because they would pluck, and so you'd hit a key and it'd go, and it would make the noise, but you wouldn't be able to make it louder or quieter. All it would do is do that action at exactly the same volume. So you hear harpsichord music and it's
da 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 da.
Exactly the same volume always. That was a beautiful rendition of harpsichord music.
But like pianos, based on how hard you hit the key, it directly correlates to how hard the hammer strikes. So you can make all kinds of different like loudnesses.
Yeah, you have expressivity. That's why piano music makes you cry.
Fun fact, any piano song will make you tear, or else you're a sociopath.
They could be playing, like, the Thomas the Tank Engine theme. And if you don't cry, then you are a sociopath.
Fun fact.
I don't think that's true. If we want to be educational, we need to be
Not
true.
spread lies.
You don't think someone would really do that, do you? Go on the internet
And
and tell
tell
lies?
Fun fact, you can do all kinds of different things with your vocal cords because based on how they stretch and stuff, like it's really funny, and like where you focus the like audio like in your head, that also kind of changes it.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot of funky, weird things that happen when it comes to making your voice happen with your brain. That's why people go through like voice training and stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you do it wrong, you'll break your voice.
And then that's really sad because
Yeah.
then you can't sing right.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
That's a good thing to talk about. Sound is interesting because it has different tonalities. Sound is based on waves. So if you heck around with the way that the waves do the thing through the world, then you can change the tone of the sound. So a choir can sound good or it can sound bad, and that's purely just based on the way the waves interact with each other. A very common thing to do is to have a choir do a pure ah vowel.
I'm not doing it right, am I?
It's okay. You aren't doing it wrong. In which you sing a song, yeah, you do that. Try that again. You sing like an ah vowel because it's very pure and it's very rough, and then you can blend with other people.
Yeah.
That has to do with timbre. Timbre is the quality of the, not the quality as in like high quality, low quality. Quality as in like the stuff that has to do with the way that the wave interacts with the world.
So like literally like in a choir of 60, if you have one person on an off vowel, it, like you'll hear the wrong vowel.
There's such thing as not sound, that's called silence. Silence is cool because there isn't.
There's just no sound.
Yeah.
Fun fact, you can never experience total silence because like if you're in like a room that is like total like soundproof silence, then your ears just lock onto like the sounds that your body naturally makes, like your heart pounding, blood rushing through your veins.
Blood going. So like you can hear, if you were very quiet room, you can hear the tone, like the pitch that is made by your blood going
rushing through your veins. Yeah.
Freaking weird.
So you can never experience true silence.
Also, don't do that.
It makes you go insane.
Literally,
like actually,
mad. Actually, just completely snap. You can't. I think the world record for somebody staying in a dead silent, soundproof room with absolutely no stimulation.
Wasn't it like 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Not even. Yeah.
55 maybe. Because
not even an hour.
You just like. You just like, snap.
You snap.
It'd be a great way to drive somebody insane.
That could probably be used as a torture method.
I think it has been. And another thing that's been used as a torture method. Fun fact. All of our fun facts are really depressing.
Yeah.
Fun fact, did you know that at Guantanamo Bay, one of their torture methods that they used on their detainees in order to make them feel uncomfortable, they put them in stress positions and they would like waterboard people, but they would also lock them in a room and like tie them down and expose them to incredibly loud music for 15 hours at a time. So they just rip whatever pop music was on at the time. So like Katy Perry, Taylor Swift,
oh my God.
Bruno Mars, and play a single song on loop or whatever mixer, I don't even know, for, I mean,
That's
at a dangerously
actually
loud,
sounds like hell.
at a dangerously loud level for 15 hours at a time. And if you think that's like, oh, that's a bop, that's what you call a club, no, this is way louder than it should be. No enjoyment, just absolute pain. And you can't sleep either. I mean, they interrupt sleep and doing all kinds of nasty stuff. So sound has good qualities, but also
not great.
Yeah. Also, sound is cool because sometimes you can spoof. Some noises sound kind of like other noises. Because all sound is just waves, right? So sometimes you hear people doing impressions of other people. And it sounds pretty close because you with your vocal cords, your entire head chamber kind of acts like
a resonator.
Yeah. You can add filters and you can do funky weird things to the waves and you can add like cutoffs and you can do a lot of technical stuff just with your face if you have a lot of experience. That's why there's super insane, crazy beatboxers that can make insane sounds. And I can beatbox. I can do some sounds. Sounds like a snare clap thing that you'd hear in a song. What are you?
Bopping.
Thanks. So you can go like, and it sounds like something that you'd hear on a whatever. Because I got pretty okay at making my face able.
Sounds.
Yeah. Hey Leah, can you beatbox? Try it.
Deep, 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 deep.
Well then. Stop. No, do a. Can you do a...
Fun fact, I learned this online. If you just say boots and cats really fast, then it sounds like you're beatboxing. Boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats.
You know why that works?
Boots and cats. Because your face is making sounds.
Sound! That's why that works.
Wow.
Boom. Speaking of sounds, I learned I could make a sound pretty recently. Not all that long ago. I learned that I could do a...
Dang.
I sound like a duck. What's something else about...
Sounds.
Sound?
Sounds can spook people. Like, for instance, one time I was, like, trying to meet up with a friend, like, in town, and, like, we were going to meet at one location, and then I was like, hey, I'm here, where are you guys? And they were like, oh, we're at this other location, and I'm like, ugh. And so then I started walking towards that location, and I saw them on the other side of the street, but they were, like, texting me to try and figure out where I was, so I, like, snuck up behind them, and then I screamed really loud. I was just like, hi there! And then Tyrell Beatty screamed like a little girl so loud. I still make fun of him to this day.
I love that.
It's such a good story.
That's so good.
Tyrell, I'm not sorry.
Oh man, that's a good one.
So Ethan, how do microphones work with sound?
Hey, so sound is like when the things happen, right? It goes... So a microphone is like a bit that goes like... That's it. No, microphone, like the one that's on the camera right now, is chilling, it's hanging out, it's got like some electrical contacts. And when air wibbles nearby, it goes chunk, and it goes... and it hits electrical contacts that make contact in a very specific way that the computer can realize and go like, oh, that's sound. Some of the very first recording equipment was like on wax, where they had like this wax tube thing that would spin, and then there'd be this giant like microphone thing go like yell into it. The air, the literal noise that you made, would wibble the air just enough that there was a very sensitive little dial with a little sharp thing that would like wibble a little bit, and you're like, and it would like wibble. And that wibbling would go onto the wax, and then later you could listen back to that wax thing, and it would sound like crap, but you could hear it, and you could hear sort of the sound because the waves directly turn into wibbles on the thing. Then they moved to they made a couple advancements first, but then they moved to vinyl and then CD track, cassette tapes, and then CD, and now digital. All of that based on the way that wibbles through the air going into an electronic pickup that picks up the way that the waves move. Not on this uke, but on some guitars and stuff you can see a pickup, an electronic pickup on the inside or in certain places, and that's literally just an electromagnet that measures that wave. As it wibbles, as the string goes back and forth, very small, very slightly, there's an electromagnet underneath it that picks up that movement and logs it all. And that movement can be translated, I mean, if it has a high enough resolution, if it measures it fast enough, then you can get super high frequency stuff. Yeah, so that's how like amplifiers work, that's how audio recording works. Yeah, that's how the way that you're listening to this right now. Leah, do you have any questions about how sound works? Much of the reason why this happened was because I am a nerd, and there's a local science fair, and for like 4 years running, I've had a little sound booth in which I entered. Where he just tells people how sound works. I teach really people cool. Sound stuff. So I know all the things. If there's any questions, please leave them in the comments. And I'm not an expert. I literally just got my high school diploma, so I'm not like a soundologist. I know things. Wow. So let me teach them to you. If you have questions, just let me know. Wow. In the future, upcoming episode, at some point, one of them eventually will be music theory. Music theory. Woo! We show you like sound and how sound works and how you make sound good. Well, yeah. What the hell? Excuse me. He does that sometimes. That's the sound that I make occasionally. Bad. Fun fact, clapping is also a sound because you're impacting the air in a way where it's like literally just hitting the thing and it's wibbling. It's great. Yeah. Thanks. Also, one last thing about sound. I was once like walking around. I was just like walking. I was bored and I make noises with my face. And so I was like... I was just like making that with every single footstep that I made. And somebody dead stopped me on the street and was like, how are your shoes making that sound? That's the coolest thing. Where can I get some of those? I was like, Oops. It's a pretty good meme.
Wanna know another cool example of things hitting things and making sounds?
Yes.
In ye olden times, when they were using sundials and stuff, one of the ways that people would like make sure that they were up at a certain hour was they would get candles and put the candles on like a metal dish, and then they would get nails. And like they would just know like, oh, 2 inches of candle wax equates to like this amount of time.
Oh.
And so they would put in the metal nails at a certain point in the candle, and they would wake up roughly at the time in which they wanted to wake up.
Because the nails would fall
And then hit the metal tray. If a strong gust of wind blows through your bedroom in the middle of the night, though, you're kind of screwed.
you're hecked.
Hecked.
That was fun. How did we conclude? How do we...
Bye!
Bye. Tune in next time.
For music theory.
Yeah. I think that was probably
That was good.
Yeah.
Now we need to figure out where the stop button is. Are you sure?
I think it's right there.